In this video, we're going to look at authentication. Now, in this new version 5, you can actually use authentication systems such as LDAP, Radius, and SAML to not only authenticate users at the ADC, but also to authenticate administrators and engineers who want to log into the user interface. Authentication is located in Library and Authentication. As you can see, we already have a LDAP server here that's been defined. So we have various different methods. So LDAP, LDAP MD5, LDAP S, LDAP SMD5, Radius, and SAML. Depending on what you choose here, you can see different options underneath for configuration. Currently, as we mentioned, it's LDAP S. So we have our name for the authentication server, its server IP address, its domain name, which is jet.io, and the login format, which can be username only, username and domain, or just blank. We also have search-based conditions and search conditions here, together with a search user, in our case administrator, and its password. Once you click update, the domain is, the authentication server is added to the section below. Now, in order to use authentication on the load balancer, either through flight path on layer 7 for pre-authentication and single sign-on, or for use in the login process for the ADC user interface, you have to define what is called an authentication rule. So down here under authentication rules, we've defined one. So this one is jet access rule, a description, the root domain, which is jet.io, and the authentication server. So every authentication server that you define will be in this authentication server menu. And then the client authentication type. Is it a basic 401 or is it forms? In our case, we're using a form. You then have the authentication type, so NTLM, basic, or none. And then the form itself. So we're using the default form in this case, but should you define your own forms and upload them, you will be able to choose the form of your choice. So it may be customized with your company logo and company name, any instructions, any messages that you want to pass the user in terms of responsibilities, etc. And then you can add a string which will show up on the authentication login form, and a timeout for that. Once you click update, it's available to you there. Now, in terms of authentication forms, you can actually choose the default form here and then preview it, and then you can download the HTML form and edit it to your needs. You can then browse and upload it and provide it with a name. So that's pretty easy to do. You also have the ability to define Kerberos realms here. Kerberos is a newer system, and there's a full explanation of it within the guide. So that handles authentication and authentication servers. Thank you.